Love. Some would say it took a backseat when the pandemic forced us apart. As a family-run and proudly Canadian-owned company, Charm Diamond Centers saw the need to bring us together with tales of love and created the Canadian Love Map podcast. Since then, we've shared hundreds of real, uplifting stories that prove love conquers all. So thank you for listening. We couldn't do it without you. And remember, love starts here.
This is a true Canadian love story.
We were meant to be together.
I can't imagine my life without you.
Honestly, he's the light of my life.
It's nice to be in that tractor beam of love.
I'm her biggest fan.
I think I knew I'd lost my heart again.
I knew I wanted a marriage like that.
Difficult roads can lead to very beautiful destinations.
Well, love is the most important thing.
When people understand all the medical hardships she's been through and she's still so happy, she has me in awe. Like, I'll be breaking down in tears and she'll be like, Mom, I'm here. Like, take some deep breaths. I can help you. And I'm like, how is this possible? You were that amazing.
Hi, I'm Nancy Regan. This week's love story belongs to Bella and Kyla. You may already know them. In fact, you may be one of the millions of people who follow them on TikTok. Today, we'll talk about what makes them both tick. Sorry, I couldn't resist. The two of them have spent much of the past 8 years in hospital. Bella because she has 3 rare genetic conditions, and Kyla because she's Bella's supermom. Here's the beautiful part. They make each other Bella brave. This is the Canadian Love Map.
This is my show.
This is my show. No, Mama gets to be in too. Let's see, who's in charge here?
Me.
Yeah, I thought so. That was my guess. Bella and Kyla, we are so excited to have you on the Canadian Love Map today.
This is exciting. Got some Canadian friends. Yay!
What is your favorite TikTok post? Can you think of one that you loved?
Cat videos.
Oh, cat videos. Well, I'll tell you what I love. I really love your TikTok videos where you're showing your style. You've got some fashion. No, you don't think so? She's shaking her head. Do you know what I like about the name Isabella?
Why?
Isabel ringing?
We haven't heard that one.
Isabella ringing?
Get it?
Knock, knock.
Oh.
Who's there?
A bell.
A bell who?
A bell's ringing.
Okay, that's pretty good improv there, kid. I'm impressed. You know what? Yeah. You're that's why you're so successful on TikTok, because you're very entertaining. Bella, is it true that you've spent a lot of time in the hospital?
Remember, we got to use our words. We got to
That's
talk.
a yes.
That's a yes.
It is a yes. And why? Can you tell me? Do you know the story about what happened when you were born?
No, what was it, Mom?
You don't remember?
Tell me it.
Tell us, Mom.
Okay. So,
Tell me
everything.
So, when you were born, you were super hungry and you really, really, really tried to eat for 3 days. And then what happened was you couldn't poop and your bowels didn't work because of a disease called Hirschsprung's. And you got really, really mad on the 3rd day because you're like, hey, people, I can't poop. And then in baby language. And we got really, really worried about you. And so you had to get air ambulanced to the nearest NICU where you had to have surgery to get out the bad bowels that were not being nice to you.
Mommy, when am I going to poop again?
well, we talk a lot about poop. So it's kind of funny because, I mean, Bella had an ostomy at 3 days old because of Hirschsprung's, and she had a few more surgeries after that. But she actually did receive a reversal when she was 8 months old.
How was a reversal? Where was it in my tummy?
So, well, when you were 8 months old, the doctors thought that they could take away your ostomy, and then you actually did go poop for the first time when you were 8 months old.
Ooh.
But
8? I was
8 months. 8 months.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kyla, did you have any idea going through your pregnancy that you were going to experience some medical issues?
Well, I think I'm a baby named Elise.
Okay. You're talking about your dolly.
And now she's grown up.
Okay, let mommy answer this one, Kate. So no, I didn't. The only inkling we had that she might be smaller was her growth stopped in my second trimester, and I had an MRI in my second trimester. But from the MRI, they couldn't tell anything. They were just like, oh, she just might be smaller. I mean, when she was born, she was 6 pounds, 11 ounces, which really isn't that small, but we didn't know anything about the dwarfism or the bowels or the skid.
I just really small.
And Saskatchewan didn't have newborn screening either. So she was born without an immune system, and we did not know.
Wow. And so you went, after 3 days, you went into this spiral of medical issues. And how long was she in the hospital for?
We didn't get home.
3 days.
When we were airlifted after 3 days, and then we didn't come home from hospital for 2 years straight. We were taken to the first hospital in Saskatoon.
I know why we didn't come home for 2 years, because it took so long to build my house.
No, our house was fine.
You thought you were just staying in the hospital so that you could build the house.
Yeah.
It took like.
So we were air ambulance to Saskatoon's RUH NICU. And I was with her the whole time. And then after about 8 months there, we were dealing with a lot of bowel issues. We did not know she had no immune system. And then after her 4th bowel surgery, she developed like a lung infection they could not get rid of. They were just, the respirologists were beside themselves. Like, we don't understand why we can't get this child off oxygen. Like, this makes no sense. And so then after a month of trying to figure that out, we advocated, and they agreed to send us to Calgary, Alberta Children's, not only because they couldn't figure out the extent of her bowel, but also they couldn't figure out the extent of her infection. And so then we were sent from Saskatoon to Alberta Children's in Calgary. And as they continued to do tests, looking at her bowels, looking at her infection, she was 11 months old. So we'd been there. Don't interrupt. We were there probably like a couple months, and I discovered a large lymph node in her armpit. And I brought it to the pediatrician that was just happened to be on that week. And I said, why does she have like a golf ball in her armpit? Like, what is this? And they alerted immunology and hematology. And they biopsied that. And that's when they found out that she had no immune system. And they had no medical explanation for how she was alive. Any newborn that's born with skid doesn't survive the common cold, yet she survived 5 surgeries and septic shock. Yeah.
I was just going to say, it sounds like she was incredibly resilient, but she was more than that. She was miraculous.
Yeah, very. Yeah. And then from there, we were set up for a bone marrow transplant to search for a donor. And that's the second. So we were in hospital a year by then. And then they had said, okay, she needs a bone marrow transplant. She has severe combined immune deficiency, and she needs a new immune system, which is a bone marrow transplant. And then we were put on isolation, and the search for a donor started. And they had said at that point, like, expect another year in hospital.
Wow. And this was your first baby, right?
Yeah. Come 2020, a few things happened. We had realized that her vascular access was no more. Because of all the Broviacs and the line placements that were in and out for so many times that we thought we were going home, so they'd take the line out, or a line would get infected. She's had 12 different lines placed in her life.
One in my chest, one.
You've had probably 8.
One in this one.
Yeah.
So first we tried this one, but Then we tried this one, and then blah, and then we try again, blah,
Blah.
try again, blah, and then we moved it up to here, blah.
But
So we tried it now here, and then
good. Yeah. So now the one in your arm is your last one. But there was a combination of things that happened. So the first is she's 6 years old, and her bowel team in Calgary is like, they said, sick kids, we need your help. We don't know how to manage these bowels. Can we save these bowels? Secondly, we can't get a line in her, we are out of options for vascular access. And so when that happens, those are the main two things to have a child need to be put on a bowel transplant list.
So Bella's been in hospital 800 days in 4 different hospitals, and yet her personality seems pretty darn upbeat. Is that an accurate description, would you say?
So you've been in our hometown, Swift Current?
yes.
Saskatoon?
Wait, hometown Swift Current. For IVG and stuff.
For IVG, yeah. So Swift Current,
And I was
Saskatoon.
born in that.
You were born in that one, yeah. Yeah.
Then I fly
To Saskatoon, and then you
fly
fly to Calgary, and
fly.
yeah, and then Toronto.
You're a flying
And
baby.
through, she's lived in hospital from birth, and it's just her. She is a light. She is vibrant, and it's all her.
Now I went weird.
She's, and I think that's why I want to allow her to share as much about herself as we can, because when people understand all the medical hardships she's been through, and she's still so happy, she has me in awe. Like, I'll be breaking down in tears, and she'll be like, Mom, I'm here. Like, take some deep breaths. I can help you. And I'm like, how is this possible? You were that amazing.
Tell us how you became famous.
Yay.
Okay. So, I'm going to summarize, and then you tell me if I miss anything. Okay. Okay.
Tell them about the first, how you got the
Do you remember?
TikTok,
Yeah.
and how you blew up, and how you and how you took your
Went
first,
viral.
and how you first took your video me drawing.
Yeah. So I had TikTok for a while just because I thought it was hilarious. And then I finally made my own account, and I just started playing with the app because I was like, well, this looks like fun kind of thing. I had no idea what I was doing. And the first video I took was just, Bella wasn't even facing me. She was just drawing. And I thought what she was drawing for her English project was really good. She's writing a children's book and drawing pictures for it. And I took a video of that. I put it to music that TikTok recommended. I'm not even sure if I put a caption. I just posted it. And overnight, it went viral, like millions of views overnight. And I woke up over 1 million. And I think it's at
Millions.
million now. And I woke up, realized, my phone just blowing up, literally, like, what? And then to top it all off, I had Halsey message me on Instagram, the music star Halsey.
Wow.
Messaged me, and she said that the videos I've shared of Bella and the pictures I've shared of her and her story really meant a lot to her, really inspired her. And she loved learning more about Bella, and that she loved that Bella had a love of art and creativity. And so she sent Bella a gift, this massive care package and a letter.
Fun.
And then from there, we just had so many news stations and websites call us.
Also sent me a new rainbow backpack and
Yeah.
a new iPad.
So I was teaching full time, and it just got to a point where Bella's medical needs were very demanding, and I couldn't hold a full-time job and do everything that her medical needs required, plus her appointments. And on top of that, COVID started. And on top of that, in 2020, she got listed for a bowel transplant, and things escalated.
I breathe into a time with
Right.
Ariel.
What Bella is trying to describe was she was made to be Ariel, lose her voice. because she was intubated from suffering septic shock. And this was around the time that Lyle and my husband and I were thinking, you know what, let's start a merch business as a way to support ourselves, as well as, you know, we came up with the logo Bella Brave because that's what she is. And we're like, if we can share her story in this way, people can support us, knowing what she's been through, knowing that I can't teach anymore. And as well as I couldn't even sub-teach because COVID, just me substitute teaching would just bring more risk into our house.
Absolutely.
So we decided, you know what, let's try and start a website of our own and sell Bella Brave merch and do that.
So, Kyla, this must have been pretty stressful for you, to put it lightly. Is it safe to say that Bella is your best therapist?
Are you gonna let me answer? No interrupting.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but what's
Okay.
a therapist?
I don't want to get off track again. So a therapist helps you think through, helps you calm down, helps you understand.
Yes, I do that to you all the time.
You do. You sit me down when I need it most, and you always, whether she is talking to me or just being herself, she always reminds me about what actually matters, and that I don't need to be as worried about things as I am in the moment. You do an excellent job of that.
This podcast is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, Canada's largest family-owned jewelry store. They are proud to be putting love on the map, and the staff at Charm Diamond Centers are thrilled to be a part of your love story too. So visit charmdiamondcenters.com or one of your local stores. Love starts here. What's your next frontier, Kyla?
Oh, so, okay, let me answer this one, okay? Or do you want to stay? Come stay with me for a little bit. Oh, she left me. So we have, I don't know what I can or can't say, but I'll dish it out to you guys.
Okay, I'm intrigued now.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a few things on the go in our frontier. Number one, we are working with Telemiracle. Are you guys aware of Telemiracle for Saskatchewan?
I think I know what you mean. It's like it's a network that's global, basically, isn't it?
Well, they support medical families, but they are just primarily for medical families in our province of Saskatchewan.
Okay.
And so we're going to be it's like a telethon every year, and we're going to be on that, which will be on TV in March. We did apply to be on Canada's Got Talent. But they haven't contacted us yet. So I don't know if anything will come from that. I was like, because they reached out to us and they were like, put in an audition tape, and we did, but I haven't heard anything back. So I don't know if anything will come.
I'll be shocked if you don't hear back from them.
I know. And I was like, I thought we would have heard back by now, but we'll see. And then we do have, we've had a specific production company reach out and offer to see if there's a chance we may get like a family documentary TV show going.
Yeah, that's just a natural, absolutely. I was wondering that. I was already, as we were talking, my wheels were turning and thinking this would be so brilliant.
Yeah. So that might be happening in the next year. Hopefully, we'll see if we get accepted for that. And aside from that, I'm just happy that I have, TikTok and Instagram as a platform to. I'm happy I can share our story to inspire other people and support other people, other medical families, and gain support myself, as well as there's lots, like even Canada, we don't get the TikTok Creator Fund. So I do depend a lot on brand deals and whatnot that have been going really well lately. And then hopefully March 1st, we're going to launch our new website and our new Bella Brave merch and carry on from there.
Was there a moment when you had that first, I call it a bolt of enlightening, that moment of realization that, oh my gosh, I'm much more impacted emotionally about this by this than I had realized before? Was there a sort of turning point?
There definitely was. Bella was 4. So I'd been in hospital, this life with her for 4 years, and I had thought I was handling it pretty well. Just doing what I knew I needed to do to support her and to support, as a mom, just, giving all I could of myself without taking time for myself or filling my cup. It just didn't occur to me until, physically my body started to shut down and I couldn't function. I would not be able to get full sentences out. I wouldn't be able to drive my vehicle. I would walk in different rooms of my house and just become paralyzed with fear. And as I talked through this with talk therapy and a mental health nurse, I began to realize what that was, how that was PTSD affecting my mental health and causing these traumatic relapses, if you want to call them, or flashbacks, I guess, of severe medical scenarios with Bella. And it wasn't really until about 4 years into that medical life that it really started affecting me physically. And at that point I thought, okay, I really need more support.
You mentioned the word fear, and that's what I have in my mind. Like, I can't imagine when you've gone through such a roller coaster, every time it gets good, you must still harbor so much fear about what could be around the next corner.
Yeah, it's difficult because Bella's her unique conditions have never really had a cure, and it's done and it's fixed. Everything that she's been through has been medical professionals telling me that they've never seen it before, that it's going to be a trial and error process to figure out how we might fix it. And so all of that building up over years, over many, many years, sort of instilled the fact that we're just going to be thrown curveballs, and she might make it, she might not. And that happened year after year, month after month, where, she would suffer. She suffered septic shock countless times, at least 3. And they can't tell me why. The last time she suffered septic shock, they did not figure it out. And it's just moments like that where I don't get, with rare disease, you don't get explanations. You don't get understanding all the time. And it makes it very difficult to just live your life with so much unknown.
I can't even imagine. I'm a worrier. As a mom, my kids would tell you that with some humor, I will tell you. And so I can't even imagine the stress you've been through. But I also think that you are absolutely remarkable. I can see you are an amazing mom. And I'm sure in some ways, apart from being very difficult, I'm sure this has made you a different person. How has it changed you?
Yeah, definitely. I always tell my husband, I'm like, honey, I love you, but I don't ever want to be the type of person I was before Bella. I don't ever want to. I tell him all the time, like, don't let me be that person, because I didn't really know what mattered. I didn't know what a children's hospital was. I didn't know the wrong dollhouse existed. I didn't know what suffering really meant. And it's really changed me. And then I've seen it, our type of situation affect so many moms and dads. And it's enlightened me to a whole new world, which I call the hospital world. And being in the situation we've been in, having to sacrifice so much and at the same time rely on complete strangers, the public, to help keep my daughter safe, keep my daughter alive. It's just a whole nother world to live in. And And knowing what I know now, I can't imagine living as someone who doesn't understand that, who doesn't want to support people that have to go through that and help them out.
It's such a love story. You know, there's so many dimensions of love in your story.
Mm-hmm.
And included in that is your willingness to, even going through these challenging times, be an advocate for others and to, you know, work to inspire other medical moms, as you say, and medical parents to find their way through. How do you do it?
I mean, it's all Bella. Honestly, I want people to see that, like, you can be okay going through hard things. You can have people to support you, even if they're on the other side of a screen. They're still going to be there.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I've seen so many people suffer, and I don't want to cry, but I mean, I've seen moms lose their kids, and I want to try prevent that type of pain for anyone else if I can.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It also strikes me, Kyla, and you know what? Don't be, for goodness sake. No, I'm crying. I'm crying, Bella. You're back. You know what?
Oh, thanks, honey.
It seems to me Bella's drying her mom's tears.
Okay.
What does she love most about you, Bella, do you think?
1 cent.
Do you want to guess my answer?
You actually need 3 cents.
Oh, I need 30.
That you have to do.
What do you think I'm going to say? Here, do you want to stand up so we can see?
I can't guess. You have to.
Oh, I have to get 3 things that I love most about you. It can't just be one. Okay. I love your character. Your character, I know you might not know what that means. You, even from when you couldn't speak, the way your eyes would move, the way your mouth would move, the happiness that would exude from your facial expressions.
Oh, like when I lost my voice, I was like,
yeah. But even when you were a baby and you couldn't speak, there was ways that you could tell me you were okay with just your eyes and the way that you were.
How could I not speak when I was a baby?
Well, normally babies can't talk.
You could.
Oh, so I was like,
Yeah, Bella, you could fly, but you couldn't speak.
Yeah.
Wait, babies can't fly.
You were a flying baby. You told me that. She's trying.
I would, and I love your heart. You have a caring and just endearing heart. You know what matters most.
My heart? My red bowel heart?
No, your heart, like your emotional heart. Like you.
Okay.
Your red organ heart.
Okay. One more question.
Okay.
One more question.
One more thing. Okay, so I love your character. I love your heart. And I love your stink eye.
What? What's a stink eye, Bella?
Don't see your stink eye.
Is that a stink eye? Oh, it's actually a little scary. You look really mad. Bella, your mom talked about what she loved about you.
Oh. 3 things I love about me, Mom.
And,
3 things you love about Mom. Go.
I love her style.
Oh, my style? Well, that's okay.
Good one.
It's usually sweatpants and sweatshirts, but okay.
That's good. That's pandemic style.
Yeah. What else do you love about me? Oh.
I like your drawing.
My drawing?
Yes.
Oh.
And I like her.
What else do I do that you like?
Think about it.
She's like,
social media.
Oh, my social media stuff?
You're social savvy.
And you're the best mom ever. Peace.
Peace. Okay, peace out. It doesn't get better than that. It does not get better than that. Kyla, thank you so much. What a rich, beautiful conversation.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, it's our pleasure. This is the nice chat. We don't mind.
Well, we just loved it, and we will be pulling for you. And I really would love to catch up again after her successful bowel transplant when you are just cheering.
Yes. Yeah. We will be calling on our Bravelings big time when that call comes. This was really, really easy and just a nice way to spend my evening. So thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to the Canadian Love Map. If you love us, please subscribe and share. We'll be back next week with another love story to add to the map. This podcast is presented and made possible by Charm Diamond Centers. It's hosted by me, Nancy Regan, and is produced and distributed by Podstarter.
This
Has been
a Podstarter
production.